Memoirs of a Perfume Collector have quickly become a recent iconic house here from London in the UK. They are known for creating some very interesting creations that are sort of transporting the wearer to a different destination. And actually, I've heard from the founders themselves that sometimes they use the ingredients or specific ingredients in a fragrance that are actually directly sourced from the location they are referencing. In today's Session Perfumery Buying Guide, we're going to be covering every single fragrance in the house from the main line. So these are the permanent fragrances in the house. The rest of the fragrances you see from Memoirs of a Perfume Collector are limited edition, either limited in their availability or the location you can buy them from. If I had to recommend a top 3 from the house as a good starting point to understand what their style is all about, and some of the most famous and top selling fragrances as well in general from the house, they're going to be Tales from Zanzibar, Trouble in Paradise, and A Night in Marrakesh. They give you a good overview of what the style of Memoirs of a Perfume Collector is all about. I'll be starting with those 3 fragrances in the guide. You can go to each fragrance's product page on our website, where actually the video overview will jump to the specific point in this video for you to go around and see what each fragrance is about. The house is very new. It was only founded in 2020 and it becomes so famous super fast. They use some of the best independent perfumers in the world, such as Harry Sherwood, who made Tales from Zanzibar, which is a fantastic, strongly projecting fresh fragrance that's become a cult classic very quickly. Most of the fragrances covered today will be from the Discovery set I've been gifted by the house. Memoirs are very limited in their Discovery set because it sells out super fast. We only have a handful ourselves to be able to sell to you, so you guys can go check them out on our website. And we've also introduced a £1 Sample Me First service for selected niche fragrance brands on the website. Unfortunately, not for Memoirs, but for Perfume currently is the only house we have it for, so you guys can check it out and try niche fragrances risk-free as long as you're willing to pay £1. So go ahead and check it out. Let's start off with Tales from Zanzibar. This is an iconic creation that is deservedly so. It is as if you are being transported to the beaches, the white beaches of Zanzibar in Tanzania, where you feel like you're on holiday. This is super tropical, super unique. It smells to me like a metallic guava mixed with some powerful musks, a bit of clean oud that's very beginner friendly, very easy to understand. Some citruses in here, that's like a citrus cocktail with a bit of mint and coconut also. And the ambergris here gives a slight salty feel also. So as I said, this is powerful. The projection is really strong. It's very long lasting. On my own skin, I'm getting over 12 hours with a loud projection. It is basically a holiday in a bottle, perfectly unisex as well. If you guys want a warmer holiday fragrance, go for Trouble in Paradise instead, but otherwise this is a top seller in the house for a reason. It's one of the best summer fragrances ever created. Let's talk about Trouble in Paradise. I think this is their second best selling fragrance in the house. It came out after Tales from Zanzibar, and this is also another fantastic tropical fragrance. A bit more warm here, a bit more with depth. This is a beautiful mango creation. Think mango mixed with boozy notes in here, mixed with caramel, mixed with some oud as well, a bit of leather, but it's not an animalic leather. This is very smooth. This is a very bright fragrance, while at the same time having some warmth, some depth, some ambers in here. This can be your tropical fragrance if you want to wear it in both the daytime and the night. It's a great signature in the spring, summer, and the autumn, in my opinion. It is tropical. This could have been a very generic mango fragrance, but it's tropical in a way that is just very different and unique. If you want a brighter holiday scent, then go for Tales from Zanzibar, but otherwise, actually, I think Trouble in Paradise could be someone's fantastic signature in a very unconventional way, a tropical fragrance you can wear pretty much all year round. A Night in Marrakesh. I'm respraying this. This is fantastic. This is one of my favorites from the house. This is definitely an evening scent, as the name suggests, and it does make you feel like you're out in the Sahara Desert near Marrakesh in Morocco, where you and a bunch of friends are around a campfire. It's a dimly lit campfire. This doesn't smell smoky. It makes you feel like you're all trying a bit of Arabic coffee, some ahwa, around a very dimly lit campfire, and you're all enjoying it whilst discussing tales about your adventures and sharing deep stories about yourselves. It's dark, it's seductive, it's a beautiful coffee, patchouli, oud fragrance with a bit of spice in here, some cardamom, so it really feels like you are exploring that region. It's very seductive and sensual. This is definitely an evening scent for the cold weather that would be just very attractive whilst also smelling unique and different. So now we've covered the 3 starting point fragrances, the ones I recommend as a starting point. They're 3 top sellers. We're gonna go through the rest of the Discovery set, but I generally say that every single fragrance this house has made that I've smelled from them so far is absolutely phenomenal. Those first 3 are probably more safe. There's a variation in the amount of challenge in each release, but they're all phenomenal. This house creates beautiful art, and that is why we are hosting them at Session Perfumery. Next up, we have Bond Street Leather, one of the most unique leather fragrances you'll ever smell. You will smell like a dandy gentleman or gentlewoman walking through the bright streets of London and central London in the middle of summertime, you will smell classy, you will smell different, you'll have a very interesting perfume. This is marshmallow with a bit of powdery iris with a very bright leather. It's a very playful powdery leather that makes you feel just very carefree, relaxed, and it's just very interesting and creative perfumery. This is creative art right here. If you want a less leather-focused bright fragrance from the house, then consider Meet Me Where the Sky Touches the Sea. Otherwise, Bond Street Leather is a fantastic, interesting, creative, leathery scent. Next up, we have potentially the most challenging fragrance in the house that I think is still fantastic. It is fantastic in its own right. It is an interesting fragrance called Musk Mantra. This is a beastly white musk animalic fragrance. This smells indolic. I know they have white floral notes in here that I think can have indolic notes in them quite often, and you are getting that. You're getting an animalic musky fragrance with a bit of iris in here. It's a bit powdery, creamy. It also has a bit of ambrette in here, so it's a little bit ambery from my experience on the notes. This is airy, animalic, musky, very different. If you want a very abstract creation, a very abstract fragrance you wear throughout different seasons in the year, you can try a Musk Mantra. It's not for everyone. I would say sample it first, but this is a beautiful fragrance in its own right. If you like Kuros, for example, you're that kind of person who likes the animalic, musky scent, you can try this out. This is a very interesting revival of that sort of old school style. Definitely a safer, but also still creative signature from the house is Bond Street Leather, but I will say do not sleep on Musk Mantra. Beyond the Pashtun summit makes you feel like you're up in the mountains in Afghanistan, and you are smelling the sense of hashish, strong hashish. It's a little bit tobacco-y, smoky, it's ambery. There's a very unique pomegranate note in here as well, and this dries down to a leather, sandalwood, oud combination. This is a fragrance that's intense. It is that smokiness, as I was saying. It's very unique notes in here. You gotta like a good cannabis fragrance. That's definitely the main star here, but actually as this dries down, this becomes less and less smoky. It actually calms down a lot and really becomes more ambery, smooth. It's really like you are surrounded in smoke up in the mountains in Afghanistan, and then as the evening progresses, the fire or the smoke kind of dies down and you get this more smooth, like remnants of smoke and fire and cannabis as well. It's a super interesting experience. I think this is actually a very beautiful fragrance. This might actually be one of my favorites in the house. It does cannabis in a really good way. I don't really usually like the note myself, but I think this is beautiful. It has great projection, great longevity. It's more of a cold weather fragrance. It's definitely worth checking out, especially if you want to experience great cannabis-based perfumery, as in cannabis the note, guys, just for clarification. If you want a less smoky evening scent from the house, go for a Night in Marrakesh instead, but otherwise I do think Beyond the Pashtun Summit is one of the best from the house in my opinion. Origins of the Collector is all about a note you may have seen around, but you may have not actually know what it's all about, and that is Peru Balsam. This is one of the most balsamic, resinous, ambery fragrances you'll smell out there, with an intense, almost smoky, like dark espresso coffee effect also. The main players here, in my opinion, are that Peru Balsam, smoky, resinous, ambery. It has a sort of Middle Eastern feel to it. This almost makes you get transported to the Middle East. You can smell some smoke, some shisha around you. Everyone's drinking coffee, ahwa. And it's a very intense coffee as well. So this is an intense fragrance that I actually didn't really understand when I first applied it. I think up close, you're not getting the full magic of this fragrance. Actually, again, this is one of my favorites from the house. So much character. It has one of the most beautiful sillage out there. Do not sleep on this one. It will probably challenge you when you first smell it, but in the air, this is one of my favorite fragrances for the cold weather. And as it dries down, I would say it stays quite linear. It has the same facets, but they just kind of get smoothed out and calmed down a bit. But I think this is just a beautiful cold weather scent. A potentially easier coffee fragrance for you might be a Night in Marrakesh, but do not sleep on Origins of the Collector. This has a beautiful sillage. In the air is where the magic happens. Chai Desert is all about having a very carefree vanilla-based fragrance with some powdery iris fatness in here, in my opinion, that I'm detecting, and it has a very interesting opening of raspberry and coffee. I don't think it's a coffee main star player here like some of the other scents in the house, but this is more like an airy, floral, spicy vanilla. It makes it smell sweet, it makes it smell seductive, while at the same time being balanced and still quite bright at the same time. So I think this could be a great, let's say, cold weather signature. Both genders can rock this absolutely beautifully. If this is too soft for you, if you don't like vanilla, you want a more intense experience, go for Beyond the Pashtun Summit. That's a very intense fragrance. Otherwise, if you're looking for a great vanilla signature, then Chai Desert is a great scent from the house. Meet Me Where the Sky Touches the Sea. What a mouthful of a release name, but this is a great scent. This to me is like the summer version of Chai Desert. So if you wear Chai Desert in the cold weather, you then transition to this in the warmer weather. That might just be my opinion. It might not be related at all, but it kind of has a similar energy to it. It has that powderiness, that airiness, has a bit of vanilla in here, even though it's not listed in my opinion. It's got a similar energy. It's light-hearted, airy, ozonic, a little bit of vanilla in here that I'm detecting. It is more like the ozonic layer between the sky and the sea. I don't think this is an aquatic. It does have a slight salty effect from the ambergris as well, but overall this is an ozonic fragrance. You will see suede and leather listed as notes, but I do not think this is a particularly leathery fragrance. As I said, I think it's just more like a slight suede effect perhaps. It's more of that powdery, vanilla, airy. It's definitely good for the spring, summer, and also the autumn as well. This is the fragrance I recommend for those of you who are looking for a warm weather signature that's very different. If you're looking for potentially a more traditional approach to the summer fragrance DNA, then consider maybe Tales from Zanzibar instead. But otherwise, if you like a unique, interesting, creative approach to summer perfumery, check out Meet Me Where the Sky Touches the Sea. Thank you for watching the full buying guide from Memoirs of a Perfume Collector. As I said, guys, you can acquire the Discovery set and 4 bottles in the video link description down below, as well as in the pinned comments. Have you tried this house? Are you interested in trying them? They're getting a lot of fame for their really iconic blends, and deservedly so. I know both owners, they're both from London, very nice guys, and they're very passionate about the perfumery they put out there, and they work with some of the best professionals in the industry. If you guys have any questions, make sure you leave your comments down below, and make sure you check out our next buying guide video that will appear on your screen very shortly. Thank you.